It's finally happened. The Miami Heat have decided to now officially part ways with Jimmy Butler. They have traded him to the Golden State Warriors to acquire Kyle Anderson, Andrew Wiggins, and a first round pick from the Warriors. The Warriors also gave up Dennis Schroeder in a three-way trade that involved the Jazz in this trade, actually a four-way trade. They gave up Lindy Waters in this trade also, the Golden State Warriors. So those are guys that they gave up. Now they have Jimmy Butler, and they have also agreed to a 2-year extension with Jimmy Butler that will pay him $111 million. This extension will last until the end of the 26-27 season. So Jimmy Butler will be a Warrior for the next 2 years. They have his services. Now, how do I feel about this trade? I would say this trade was a low risk, high reward type of trade for the Warriors because they didn't give up much to get Jimmy Butler. If you're being honest, Andrew Wiggins, it has been kind of like MIA for them the last few years. He's a very inconsistent player. Kyle Anderson is just a good role player. Same with Dennis Schroeder. And they only had to give up one pick for him, which is a very good deal. So they gave up the 2025 pick. I don't think this will be a good pick anyways. So they didn't really give up really much for him. But does he really improve their team leaps and bounds? I don't think so. I definitely don't believe so, that they improved tremendously with him. To me, this team's trajectory hasn't really changed much from what I've seen the last few months, which is this is a play-in team. Maybe if they're lucky to get into the playoffs, but at best, the ceiling on this team is that they're a first round and out team. That's about it. Now, if Jimmy Butler was like even 5-6 years younger, I would say this would be a great trade for them that could really elevate them. But no, I don't think so. The problem with the Warriors are now that they have an aging core in Draymond, Stephen Curry, and Jimmy Butler. And if we're being honest here, Stephen Curry was at his best when he had great shooters around him in Klay Thompson for most of his career. And then for a brief period of time, Kevin Durant. Those guys freed him up to be even a more dominant player. The spacing was incredible. Jimmy Butler will not give him that spacing. Jimmy Butler has never been a great shooter. Jimmy Butler's strength is being a great defensive player and just an above average offensive player. I wouldn't say great scorer, but above average when it came to scoring. That's pretty much Jimmy Butler in a nutshell. So I don't think he's going to just elevate this team. I just don't think he will. Now, what I'm really interested in is the beef that's going to have between him and Draymond. These guys are two of the most toxic people I feel in the NBA. And now you're going to put them on the same team together. Just to me, this is like some kind of mad experiment. And I'm here for it, as they would say. Just the question is, like, when are these two going to be at each other's throats? I just think it's a matter of time. Draymond likes to make the new guy always a scapegoat. He always does that, whether it's Kevin Durant or Jordan Poole. Grant Poole had been drafted by the Warriors, but Draymond had seniority on him since he had been with the Warriors a lot longer than Poole, and he used that against him. He even used it against a legit superstar in Kevin Durant. Now, he will probably try to do the same to Jimmy Butler when things fall apart, when his team fails, like it will fail. I predict they will fail. He will look to point the finger at somebody, and he will target Jimmy. He'll say something like, Jimmy is not a winner like him. He's not a champion, all this other garbage. We all know Draymond's a great coattail rider. When he says champion, it's more like he carried Stephen Curry's rings with him. Those are Stephen Curry's rings, not his. So he's more like the greatest Butler of all time. No pun intended when it comes to being Steph Curry's servant. So that's who he is. But he will hype that up and rub it in Jimmy Butler's face. And Jimmy will not take it. Jimmy is toxic, but he does stand up for himself, which is one of the few things I do respect about him. He will fight back, and that's when we're going to see all the fireworks go down. This will be a lot of fun when this falls apart. That's what I'm going to enjoy. This is going to be like a reality TV show. That's what we should expect from the Warriors the next 2 years. Because it's hard for me to imagine that these two will be able to coexist for a long period of time before they really go at it. I don't know how that's even possible, just to be honest. And I'm just going to look at Draymond, how long he's going to be on this team, because I don't think the Warriors can ever trade him. Just not because he's talented, but because he's such a toxic asset. Very few teams want to touch him. I'm just going to look for it right now. Just let me see where. Just looking at how long he's with his team. Oh, he's pretty much on this team until 2027. Just as long as Jimmy. He has a player option after 2026, but he'll definitely exercise it to stay. Just no way in hell a team will be stupid enough to pay him the $27 million he's exercised to get if he exercises the option. So I definitely see him doing that. So yeah, these two will be together for the next 2 years. A lot of fun, a lot of fireworks. One of the best reality TV shows on TV, I believe, just will be the Golden State Warriors. This is a team that will not have championship aspirations. This is a team that's in denial. They are delusional. They can't accept who they are. They once were a great team, no longer great. Just this is a declining team. Just that's all I have to say.